We are back with a Fox News alert. Liberals getting a special election win in the battleground state of Wisconsin in a court race that could have a ripple effect in Washington.
And in Florida, Republicans hold on to two key House seats, boosting their slim majority.
Well, Brooke Singman is going to join us more on this Wednesday with the Tuesday result.
Exactly. Good morning, guys. The sweep in the Sunshine State means that Republicans now hold a 7-seat House majority. In Florida's 1st District, Republican Jimmy Patronis defeating Democrat Gay Valamont to retain the seat previously held by Matt Gaetz, who resigned back in November. And in Florida's 6th, Trump-backed State Senator Randy Fine beat Bernie Sanders-backed Democrat Josh Weil to win the seat previously held by Michael Waltz, who is now the White House National Security Advisor. So President Trump is celebrating these victories, saying, quote, both Florida House seats have been won big by the Republican candidate. The Trump endorsement, as always, proved far greater than the Democrats' forces of evil. Congratulations to America. Listen.
So I promise you this. You have entrusted me with something extraordinary, the opportunity to go and fight for you. I'm not going to let you down. I'm not going to let my family down. I'm not going to let my boys down. And I'm definitely not going to let my mom down.
CD1 is where the hopes and dreams of the Democratic Party come to die.
Yeah!
Let it be known that this election is a reminder that the Florida Panhandle will forever be red and it'll be forever Trump country.
Meanwhile, Wisconsin's Supreme Court will keep its 4-3 liberal majority. The election's historic turnout caused 7 Milwaukee polling stations to run out of ballots. Democrat-backed Judge Susan Crawford defeating conservative Judge Brad Schimmel in the most expensive judicial race in U.S. history.
My promise to Wisconsin is clear. I will be a fair, impartial, and common-sense justice on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. And I want to thank everyone across the state who helped to get us to this point. I'm here because of you.
Yeah, Democrats are seeing this victory as a referendum on Trump and Elon Musk, who joined the Five and discussed why he spent his time and money supporting the conservative judge. Listen.
The reason tonight's elections are so important is that the judge race will decide whether the Wisconsin districts get redrawn. They're going to try to gerrymander Wisconsin to remove 2 Republican seats. And as you know, the House is currently Republican by a razor-thin margin, which means that losing this judge race has a good chance of causing Republicans to lose control of the House.
Meanwhile, the president hailed Wisconsin voters for enshrining the state's voter ID law in their constitution. Trump saying, quote, this is a big win for Republicans, maybe the biggest win of the night. It should allow us to win Wisconsin, like I just did in the presidential election, for many years to come. Steve, back to you.
A lot going on.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Brooke. Here to break down what this means for Wisconsin's congressional map and future of the Republican House in the U.S. House, Fox's contributor, Jonathan Turley. Hey, Jonathan, good morning.
Hi, Steve.
You know, this is not surprising. I mean, Wisconsin is a purple state. It's not a red state. Donald Trump only won it by a little bit. And it just goes to show you that you pump a whole bunch of money from both sides into an election, into a state in the Midwest, and people get motivated, and they turned out in droves.
I think that's right. What's interesting, though, is that Crawford is very liberal. So this is a court now that's a little bit out of sync with a purple state. There's a lot of moderates in Wisconsin. I wouldn't call this a moderate Supreme Court. Just recently, the Supreme Court, the day before the election, heard an argument coming from the Wisconsin Supreme Court in which that court really laid down a devastating standard for religious organizations. They said that Catholic charities could not be exempt because they, quite frankly, don't pray enough, that because Catholic charities does not turn away people from other faiths because they don't proselytize. The Wisconsin Supreme Court treated them like Starbucks. And many of these justices really raised concern, including people on the justices on the left, and said that's a pretty bad standard. You know, you're going to put the government in a position of determining when you're praying enough, when you're proselytizing enough, instead of looking at why they're doing it because they're the Catholic charities.
Sure. Indeed.
So you could see a lot more of those cases coming out of Wisconsin.
You know, and Brooke just had that soundbite where Democrats in Wisconsin say this is a referendum on Donald Trump and on Elon Musk. That's not the way it was presented. The Democrats ran against Elon Musk. They said he's the world's richest man and he can't buy an election. So it wasn't about Trump as much as it was about Musk.
That's right. And there's this scorched earth campaign going on. I just have a column out today on this where Democrats are shredding many of the things they believe most fervently about. They're adopting anti-environmental positions, anti-labor positions just to get Musk. And it's really untoward, but also with the rise of political violence on the left, it's very concerning. It's very dangerous. And we're not seeing what we were hoping to see from Democratic leadership denouncing this campaign.
All right. And so going forward, given the fact that this is, as you said, a very liberal bench now, look for suggestions and rulings on abortion, labor rights, and, of course, redrawing a couple of those districts, right?
That's right. And this court was responsible for the loss of 14 seats when it rejected an electoral map. Notably, what it did, by the way, is it threw out the existing standard used by the Wisconsin Supreme Court to allow it to effectively redraw the maps. That allowed for 14 more Democrats to go into the assembly. And the expectation, in fact, all this money is on Crawford doing, voting in the same way to allow for 2 more seats in the House of Representatives to be lost due to redesigned districts.
All right. From the District of Columbia, Jonathan Turley, thank you very much for joining us live.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.